Hey, good morning. This is Dr. Zach Felix, coming to you from right up the road here at Reinhardt University. And I'm a biology person. I love animals. I have studied all around the world the rattlesnakes in Aruba, giant salamanders in Japan, frogs in China, and I thought I would tell you a little bit about how I use dichotomous keys. So as a biologist, probably one of the most exciting things you could possibly do is to describe a new species of animal, plant, whatever it is. And this is still happening. People think that we know everything about our Earth and fellow animals that live here, but that is definitely not true. In fact, here's a new hammerhead shark that was described just last month. Right? So that from right here in the Atlantic Ocean, the ocean that borders Georgia. Right? Lots of discoveries to be made. Spooky vibes. There's a type of scorpion that was described from Mexico. Okay, so tons of new things out there waiting discovery. And I guarantee you that there are things right here in Georgia, right here in Alaska, that are new to science and that we need young people like you guys to learn how to use dichotomous keys and learn how to become trained so that you can make these discoveries. So as I said, my favorite group of animals has always been salamanders. I just love the places they live. I love their colors, their sizes. This is a Urspilurpes bruci, which is a recently described species found right here in Georgia and South Carolina and North Carolina. It's the only places in the world. This tiny little salamander. See, that's the size of a dime. And then in Japan, there are giant salamanders, which are on the opposite end of the spectrum with regards to their size. So there's so many different kinds of salamanders. There are different sizes, shapes, colors. I'll put my face here. I'll put it back over this one. Okay, so you find a salamander and you want to know what kind it is. Well, there's a lot of different salamanders to choose from. And so what a key does is it helps you to eliminate certain species so that you can focus in on finding the one that you have. Okay, so I'm just made up a little key. This is not really an actual key, but it's similar to ones that you would find in different books. Right? I recommend go to the library. This is a new book that just came out on the salamanders of the eastern United States. Lots of wonderful pictures, lots of wonderful maps and things. Most of these books do have keys in the front. It's an older book, but really just a wonderful book about a state that I've spent a lot of time studying in, which is West Virginia. And at the front of the book, not surprisingly, is you guessed it, dichotomous key to the salamanders. Okay? These are useful things. If you can use a dichotomous key, you can identify anything from plants to tardigrades to salamanders. So how do we use them? Here's just a little example here. Okay, so dichotomous, di means two. So we have sort of like a choose your own adventure. At each step there are two choices. You can go this way or you can go that way. First one, does the salamander live in the water or do they live on land? Okay? The animal that we are looking to identify here lives on the land. So we would go to number 3. We're going to eliminate all of those species that live in the water. Right? Fire salamanders from Europe live in the water. Tiger salamanders. We have these next door in Bartok County. Axolotls. Nope. Japanese giant salamander, Amphiuma, all eliminated. So we're focusing in. It's got to be one of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 species that are left. Okay? That first question has eliminated 5 species. Okay, so we go to number 3. Number 3. Does the salamander have webbed feet or are their feet unwebbed? So a lot of times you have to get under a microscope, you have to do close examination of these animals to really see their characteristics. It could be the kind of things that would be on a key would be number of teeth or number of dorsolateral folds or some tiny little character. Here we're saying the one that we're interested in has webbed feet. Okay, so we're going to go to number 4. Alright, we'll look at back here. All our candidates of the things it could be. We have now eliminated the Plethodon longicrus. We've eliminated the green salamander, the cave salamander, this new species of red salamander from Costa Rica, Plethodon welleri. We're down to 2 species. So these are species that live on land and have webbed feet. Okay, but we still need one more question so that we can eliminate one of the 2 and arrive at our identification. So, back to the key. Okay, does the salamander have red spots or are they spotless? Okay, and it turns out our animal of interest has red spots. So we eliminate Plethodon yanalasi, which brings us to Plethodon jacksoni. Now we have eliminated everybody except the one that we're interested in, and we now have our identification. Plethodon jacksoni. Okay, so what if you're out in the field and you are on land and you find a salamander that has webbed feet and has spots, but the spots are not red, instead they're yellow. Right? We go to our key. We want to know, is this a new species? Is it different than all other salamanders? Okay, that's what you need to know in order to determine if something is a new species. Okay, if it's new, that's just it. It's not one of the old ones. So, really, to define a new species, you need to know all of the old species and then be able to provide evidence that it's different from those other species. Okay, and so, in this case, we have a land-dwelling, web-foot, spotted salamander with yellow spots. It's a new species. We used a real similar kind of process to investigate the group of salamanders that look like this, right? And proved to be a new species. And the cool thing about finding a new species, honestly, I mean, is that you have created a new. You didn't create the new species; it existed, but you sort of taught people that it exists and that it's unique and different. Okay? And you get to give this species a name, because we need to be able to communicate and refer to it. So, in our case, my team and I, we named ours Plethodon pollyi. That's the scientific name, which is written in Latin. Plethodon means lots of teeth. Pollyi is named after this gentleman here, my friend and graduate advisor, Dr. Thomas Pauly. He worked at Marshall University in West Virginia, and is just one of those people that everybody loves Dr. Pauly. He's a wonderful man, very generous. He's taught me a lot, and so to honor him, we named this species Plethodon pollyi. And here it is. So, my question for you, if you are becoming a biologist later, and the kind of biologist that is looking for new species, and you discovered a new species, what would you name it? Right? This is, there we go. There, covered up. Okay. Here is the sponge. You see the generic, or the genus name is Spongiforma, and the species name Squarepantsii. So you could sit and imagine what you would name mosquito you found? Maybe it would be a new slippery eel or a leech. What if it's a beautiful flower or a beautiful bird? Who are you going to name this after? So, been a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoy your activity of looking at dichotomous keys, and hopefully I have shown you that this is not just one of those type of activities that you do and is not useful, but it's something that you can use to make some really neat new discoveries. Alright, thanks for listening.